Hello there, my Maple Leaf fans. Welcome to the game two of the pregame between the Maple Leafs and the Ottawa Senators in their first round of their playoff series. Game two is tonight at 7:30, so we'll have highlights coming at midnight. But right now, we're kicking to the pregame conference before puck drops around 7:30. So hope you enjoy what you see.
But in the magical, there's a pretty one. I ask her where it goes, 'cause I really wanna know if she knows that we're underwater. That's the way it goes.
Kia, movement that inspires.
It's not crafty. It's your craft.
First home playoff game with the Leafs, like what stood out about Sunday night?
Yeah, it was fun. Atmosphere was good. Fans were loud and gave us some nice energy throughout the game. So it was a good experience. Obviously, getting the win, most important.
How do you guys carry on what you did in game one into game two?
Yeah, I mean we've talked about what we need to do better, what we did well, and make those adjustments going into tonight's game because we know we expect them to play a really good game and play their best game of the season, so we have to be able to match their execution and discipline and intensity.
How big of an impact did it have to have OEL and Jake McCabe back in the D4?
Yeah, huge. Two veteran guys, played a long time and have mindsets and mentality that sort of embody what we're trying to do around here. So yeah, obviously words probably don't describe how impactful they were for sure.
You saw a lot of that Stutzla line in the first game. I mean, what's the mindset when you're going up against that? What needs to be done there?
It's five guys out there against that line. We know they got a good mix of players on that line, and 18 really transport the puck and delays, makes a lot of really good plays, finds space for his guys. So 7 goes to the net hard and can shoot the puck, and 28's very skilled, played a long time, extremely crafty. So and then they have some D that are very deceptive and like to get up in the play. So when you're out there against that line, it's important for all 5 guys to be aware and work together.
The Leafs haven't been up 2-0 in a series since 2002. In your experience, what makes it so hard to win that second game and when you get off to win in a series?
Yeah, I mean, we're just going to have the same mindset as we had going into game one, and we're focused one game at a time. We're not looking into the past or back into the past or looking into the future. We need to stay present and be together and be confident and play our game.
What do you make of how Anthony played for you guys?
Yeah, amazing. So I mean, he's been doing that all year, so it's not a surprise. Made some important saves, a huge breakaway save, a couple saves on the penalty kill that kept the game where it was for us, and those are huge momentum swings throughout the game.
What's the biggest area that you guys think you can improve upon from game one?
I mean, we've talked about that, and I don't want to tell them what we're trying to do. So, yeah, there's areas we can get better at, and there's areas we played well in, and we've talked about, as I said before, what we want to do, and hopefully we're able to bring that forward tonight.
Sorry, Chris, you played a lot of playoff games. How much of this time of year is the game within the game, the gamesmanship part of it? You saw last night your brother's team, the backup goalie and Scheifele on the ice, and the coaches in the series are already talking about the refs. Like, how much is that part of the makeup?
I mean, there's always game within the game, especially when you're playing 7 games against a team and playing against the same guys over and over again. But as I said, we're not focused on what's being said outside of this room. We know what we did well last game. We know what we want to improve on, and it's up to us to carry that forward tonight.
What's it like being around the city right now? Like, what are you sensing in terms of the buzz and the playoff atmosphere around town?
Yeah, playoff hockey in Canada. I think it's always a little extra buzz and excitement going around, and it's as I said, it's just one game. We move on to tonight, and hopefully the rink's rocking again like it was last game, and able to give us some energy when we need throughout the game.
Bobby, what are you going to remember about your first Stanley Cup playoff game?
Probably just coming out right before the game, just hearing the crowd, seeing the towels, just the energy. I think that was the coolest thing, and then just the intensity that everybody was playing with.
What sort of response are you expecting from the Sens tonight?
Yeah, we know they're going to come hard. They have a chance to reset, look at video, kind of change their game, make any tweaks they need, and I'm sure they're going to be ramped up, ready to go.
They had a lot of guys making their debuts. You can relate, like, how much of an adjustment is it from regular season hockey to playoff hockey?
Yeah, it definitely is. Guys are closing quicker, definitely more physical. You saw that really early on. People are really trying to make an impact early on. So it's just being ready to weather that and being ready to manage it the whole game.
Max had a really solid end to the regular season. What stands out to you when you play with him?
He just competes so hard, and then when the puck gets on his stick, he's able to make plays in tight spaces and knows where guys are. He's been so good at finding guys on his line, giving them chances, giving them opportunities. He's just got really good vision all around.
Bobby, it's been a while since you scored. Are you okay with your process, or do you take a step up in that regard?
Yeah, I can always push for more. That's definitely what I want to do. I think right now the biggest focus is just winning games and doing what I can to contribute. If I'm not scoring, I'm trying to be physical, trying to be hard to play against, those sorts of things. But yeah, definitely trying to push for that and push for more.
Quite a run the team is on to end the regular season now. Great start to the playoffs. Like, how would you describe kind of the mood, the atmosphere around this team right now?
I'd say composed. We're just happy with our game plan, happy with where our game's at. But then always just hungry. We always want to be better, and we're still going to improve best we can game to game, make our own adjustments, and continue to push for more from us.
What do you make of how Anthony played in that game?
Yeah, he's been stellar all down the stretch, and maybe even another step up here in playoffs. Keeping it calm and cool back there, though, making it look easy. And I know he's working hard back there, but he makes it look so smooth and so easy.
In which ways do you see that kind of smoothness? What stands out to you?
I mean, I think just like a lot of like his post play and pass outs and stuff like that, he never looks like he's scrambling. He always just looks like he's cutting the angles in good positions, knows where guys are, very aware, and then he's talking a lot too. He's pretty vocal, knows to tell guys where to be and stuff.
He likes to do that move where he kind of goes out like on the cycle and the defenseman's breaking up.
Destroyed an enemy cruiser.
He's breaking up, where he kind of gets like playing kind of like a pick where he's standing out. I don't know if you've noticed that from a goaltender before, where they kind of go right in the opposing forward's face.
Yeah, I think it's a skill that goalies are aware that if you can give your D or your guys going back to the puck a little extra second, that makes a difference, because maybe they don't get hit, maybe the guy doesn't get a shoulder on them, and then we're able to break the puck out easier, and it works better for everybody.
So, like, being around the city right now, like, are you picking up the buzz around town?
Yeah, a lot more jerseys. People are definitely supporting, which is great. I think there's more buzz, and it's great to see because we feed off that energy.
From playing with Pontus, what have you seen in the growth he's had this season?
Yeah, he's just been strong. He's really good at puck protection. He's obviously drawn a lot of penalties this year, and then just plays through contact well. Obviously, it's a highly contact sport, and he's able to fight through those checks and make plays and transport the puck into the offensive zone.
Not sure what changes the Sens might make, but if Nick Cousins comes into the series at some point, what sort of kind of impact does he have?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we're really worried about who they're bringing in. We're more just focused on us right now. I think we'll be ready for whatever they bring.
How do you approach the game within the game sometimes in this playoffs? Bobby, you saw last night. The other night there was a few things that happened, like sliding into the goalie a couple of times. How do you guys approach that and stay on your side of the line?
Yeah, I think we're just focused on playing between the whistles. I know the refs were talking about taking one, and you don't want to put your team down. So it's playing smart and trusting that the officiating will take care of that, and we'll be all right when we're playing it straight up and trying to play 5-on-5.
The refs told you that, like before at the start of game one, like they warned, I guess, both teams.
Yeah, I think they just want it to be clean games, and I think they're just being more aware of that. Yeah.
Jake, what sort of response are you expecting from the Sens here tonight?
Yeah, certainly a bounce back effort for them, and we need to be a lot better in here ourselves.
What ways can you guys be better?
I think just our 5-on-5 game, and continue to take away their odd man rushes and be quick to kill plays in our D zone and get the puck going north, and just providing pressure throughout the night.
What do you make of how Anthony Stolarz played for you guys?
As expected, been steady all year and no different than the other night.
What do you like about the way that the team kind of is approaching this one, even after that big win? It feels like it's a business-like kind of mood here.
That's the playoffs for you. It's on to the next one. Last game doesn't mean much unless you follow it up with a good effort.
Pontus Holmberg moves up to the top 6. What have you learned about him this year?
I think throughout our lineup, guys have shown that we can plug and play guys throughout top 6, bottom 6, whatever it may be, and Domes is a great example of it. He's pops up to the wing and then he pops back to center. It's not an easy thing to do, but he makes it look pretty seamless. So to have guys in our group like him and Pontus, and I can go down the list, frankly. It's definitely an asset that we've used we have used well all year.
How was the adjustment for you getting back into there after a bit of time off?
Good. I think I can definitely be better, but I thought me and Tanny were pretty steady.
Ottawa's a team that tends to have really high shot volume. How do you defend against that?
I think just box outs in front of our net, and it's okay to give up shots sometimes. It's just those second opportunities in the slot that we're trying to minimize, and give clear line of sight for Stoley to make that first save, and clean up the stuff in front of him.
We'll see if the Sens make any changes. You had that series against Florida a couple years ago with Nick Cousins in there. If he comes in, kind of what sort of challenge does he present?
Just another player over there. We got to manage their energy and their forecheck, and
Sunday was the first playoff game for a lot of guys on the other side. What do you remember about how you felt your first playoff game, and how much does playoff experience matter in your
I think there's a lot of emotions. There's a little bit more juice in the building. It's nice to be at home here. The game one, and obviously took advantage of it, but like I alluded to, doesn't mean much unless you follow it up with a good effort in game 2.
What's it like being around the city right now? You spoke about it beforehand, but what sort of buzz are you feeling, and how does that impact you?
Yeah, I certainly see Maple Leaf flags, people having it on their cars and around my neighborhood, and Maple Leaf jerseys around. So, like I said, the weather's changing. People are outside and supporting the Leafs. It's good stuff.
How's the traffic?
Wasn't great this morning. Hopefully it's a little better this afternoon.
Craig, in your experience, what makes it tough to go up 2-0 in a series when you've won that first game?
Yeah, well, you get a lot of desperation from the other team for sure. We're going to get a good push from the Senators tonight. We know that. They're going to be better tonight. So, we talked to our guys. We got to be better. We're going to do things better, and you might not get all the power play opportunities you got last game.
What ways do you need to be better?
Well, I think we can do a better job defensively and check better than we did last game. I thought we gave up some chances that we didn't need to give up, and Offensively, we got to control more of the game in the offensive zone than we did.
How do you brace for that pushback from the Senators while still, trying to dictate your own game, especially
I think just preparation from your players, and the coaches, obviously, but players just understanding that, the start of the game is crucial, in my opinion. And being prepared for a hard push from them is, that's the best way I can put it is like you got to be prepared to battle and puck battles and the physical play and making hard plays, simple plays with the puck. Those are the types of things that you want to prepare for as a player. And we got to skate early. We got to be on our toes. We got to skate right away. We got to be skating.
You like to keep the mood loose if you can during the playoffs? Like, what's your approach in terms of the temperature of the room and keeping?
Not much different than a regular season. I think it depends on the situation and the game and what's going on. I'm pretty much the same.
The Stützle line had a lot of success at 5-on-5 just in terms of generating shots. I mean, what's like the key to maybe reducing that a little bit with that?
Yeah, well, I thought we let Stützle carry the pucks through the neutral zone a little bit too easily at times. I think we need to force them to put pucks in more deep than they did. I thought they gained the zone on us with possession too many times, and then that's a good forechecking line. They're heavy with Tkachuk on there, and Stützle's heavier than you think. We got to break the puck out better. So when we force them to dump pucks, we got to make sure we're getting that puck and we're making a strong play right away and getting it out of our zone, limit them from creating them zone time on us.
What do you like about what you've sensed from your group coming off that Game 1 win?
I think, we're in a good spot. I liked our attitude yesterday in practice. Pretty businesslike, ready to go. Like I said, it's one game. And I think, what I see is we moved on from it and then we're ready for Game 2. That's the biggest thing is like getting ready for Game 2, moving on from Game 1. That was Game 1, throw it out. We're going to, obviously you look at things that you want to do better and maybe what they're going to adjust and do or, different things like that. But it's the mindset of getting prepared for Game 2 and understanding it's going to be a harder game.
Teams fight all year for home ice. How important is atmosphere, last line change?
Well, it was great atmosphere. I think, the building was awesome. The crowd was awesome. I expect the same tonight, and we got to give them something to cheer about.
How much do you...
You're an Alberta guy. What's it like to be in the middle of the Battle of Ontario?
It's been great. I like, it's a battle. Like, it's funny, I didn't really understand all of it, before. I watched it in the past, obviously, but there's some hatred there for sure, and it's pretty good. I enjoy it.
The night before a game, do you get sucked in watching McDavid and the Oilers or anything, or do you?
That's late for me, but I watched a lot of hockey last night, but that one was a little late. But it's that's playoffs, right? You're up, and next it's tied, and you got McDavid and Draisaitl. You never count those guys out, right? They're just great players that can do great things. How
does the day off yesterday for Solar's benefit of tonight?
No, it just rest, and then he gets his work here this morning. What he needs, I think, with goalies, it's a little different. I thought that he had some good work in that game, and he had to be sharp. He played a lot of pucks, and he was busy. So you got to manage that and what you think's best for that individual the next day.
In terms of the way Pontus played in Game 1 in order for him to get a top 6 look in Game 2?
That's all matchup oriented with me for the most part and what I'm seeing. Maybe I didn't, if I don't like something, I'll switch it in game like I did. And like I said, he played with that line before, and I thought he did a good job there. I thought that line was pretty effective. He hangs on. I talk about Pontus. He's very good at hanging on to pucks. I need that line to have more ozone possession time.
Craig, McMahon's scoring game has hit a rut. Where are you with this game overall?
He's getting his attempts at the net. I think there's times where I'm not sure the attempt is worth it. I think I'd like to see him delay a little bit or hang on to pucks a little bit more, and he needs to get on the inside. That's going to be key for us with him. He could be an effective player with his speed, body, strength, size. Like, we need him to get on the forecheck. We need him to get into the inside and then to the interior of the ice. Did a good job in the goal. That's the interior of the ice I'm talking about, but he can provide more. He can do more.
Now that it's playoffs, and obviously your hometown's in oil country, how many Leaf jerseys and hats are
they're split
worn there?
They're split right now. Calahoo has Leaf stuff on. Probably everybody else has Oiler stuff.
Looking for a smarter way to mop? Try the Swiffer Power Mop. An all-in-one cleaning tool with a 360-degree swivel head that goes places a regular mop just can't. Mop smarter with the Swiffer Power Mop.